So I made a video a couple weeks back, I believe, about Disneyland and what it has to do in Disney World and what it has to do in order to reopen. And I'm looking now at what's going on in Shanghai, and it looks like it's pretty much exactly what we really thought it was going to be. There's some differences from what I suggested, but the spirit of it is there. Let me talk to you about it right now. Let's see. So we are looking right here. Disney reopens the Shanghai theme park with many restrictions. So tickets went on sale Friday and sold out within minutes. So they are doing pretty much what I said about just pre-selling the tickets. And I spoke about doing sort of a lottery system, but this is pretty much the same thing. I just think that they're just pre-selling it, and then that's it. They're limiting the park to 30% of the park's 80,000 usual capacity. I believe Disneyland has 85,000 usual capacity. That's also something that I said in the other video that they should do. And the reason is because there's so much space in Disneyland that you can really observe social distancing guidelines and with that lower number. They decided on 30%. I had said something around 10 or 15%. Come to think about it afterwards, I think that wasn't even financially feasible to really lower it that amount. So what I said kind of made no sense of just what that would have been like 8,500 people, and that's at that point they might as well stay closed probably because just the amount of staff that's in the park. Here's something that's a little bit weirder. Only visitors with a green rating on China's health QR code app will be allowed through the gates, further embedding the use of digital passport-like documents that allow some Chinese citizens to move relatively freely, but which have restricted others. So what China has been doing, and this is something that some people have been pushing for in the US, is they've been using these mobile apps in order to follow people around pretty much, and they check to see who you're next to and whether or not that person may have been exposed to this pandemic. And it's really, really frightening to think that this is something that the United States has been toying around with. I mean, Google and I believe Amazon, or either Amazon or Microsoft, the big tech companies have gotten together and told pretty much the US government that they can't do this. And in China, they are doing this. And they are watching people as they go through their normal day. They want to know where you are, who you're with, and all that good stuff. And you know what? This is not something that's really pertinent to this argument. Not this argument, but this, what we were talking about. But it is something that's very scary to think about, that this could be a part of the United States. This could be a way for the United States to really start overtly tracking people. So we have to be very careful with that. Some people are okay with it. They're fine with, this idea that, if I'm not doing anything wrong, then why do I care? Well, let's just say that touchdown line keeps moving. You know what I mean? The goalposts keep shifting. The rules keep changing. So, not going to say nothing. That's it. That's the warning. So, some facilities such as children play areas and theater shows remain closed, and they're not doing parades or any night shows. Me personally, I think that the way that it's designed, you could do parades. You could do night shows. I suggested doing a shift where they would have a 6 to 8 hour shift in the morning, where people will come in, and then there would be a 2 hour gap in between, and then you would have a nighttime visiting, in the afternoon. And they're not doing that. They're just pretty much selling the tickets and saying, everybody, come in. And according to Bob Chapek, ticket sales have been great, or been very encouraging, as it were. And people are adapting to the new way of living. Not way of living, the new way of enjoying Disneyland. I honestly believe that if all the rides are open and pretty much Disneyland is fully open, the lower amount of visitors will actually make for a much better experience for the actual people there. The guests will have a much better experience. And not only that, but the staff will have a much better experience because the guests will appreciate just being there and enjoying it. And then the staff will also appreciate the guests being there. Disneyland has become, and Disney World have become just a haven for stress. And if you have visited Disneyland with children, it is not a great experience. To be honest with you, it is a stressful experience with all the things that are going on, being jam-packed like sardines in there, and long wait times. And then, we saw though when Galaxy's Edge opened, there was a spread of the people. There wasn't as many people coming as they had originally anticipated. And the ones that did were spread out more because many of them were going to Galaxy's Edge while the other ones were enjoying Disneyland proper. And it actually led to an increase in the overall customer satisfaction or guest satisfaction surveys that they saw. So I'm not saying that Disneyland should always restrict the amount of people that are there. I'm just saying that where there is darkness, there could be light. And this will be an opportunity for a lot of people to enjoy Disneyland and Disney World in a way that they couldn't before. Stress-free, appreciative, being appreciated. And it's amazing that this isn't being really pushed as hard as I would think that it would be by Disney here in the US. I mean, you have Tesla, of course. I mean, Elon Musk is going crazy over there to get his factories reopened. But Disney is not really pushing that hard to get, their parks open. And it's surprising to me that this is what they're doing. But there's a lot of financials at play. I don't know if there is a huge difference between the cost of running Shanghai Disney as opposed to the cost of running Disneyland and Disney World, considering maybe higher wages and so forth. And you would figure it would cost more to have those two open, and maybe a 30% park capacity just isn't financially feasible for Disneyland to open. And that's why it hasn't moved over here so far. But I do think that this is the way to go to get a sense of normalcy back for a lot of people out there that really need it. We really need to start getting out there again and start, being safe, but also being active again. And I'm glad to see that Disney in Shanghai, that they're very encouraged by what they're seeing in Disney Shanghai. I want to see if they really start pushing to get that over here. I still predict that by July, Disney will definitely be open. Both parks will be open here in the U.S. I believe Universal will be open with restrictions, but they will be open. Just like Vegas is already making its recommendations and starting to put things into place to begin to reopen, either by the end of this month, I believe, or by early June. Disneyland will be open by the summer. And as long as they could do that, and really maintain a level of... Disney's always been a really clean place. So if they can maintain that level of cleanliness, I don't see why not, I really think it's time for people to go out and start enjoying themselves again. It's been a really, really rough 2020 so far. I mean, there's really been so much that's been bringing us down. It's time for us to get out there and start uplifting each other again. And I want to see it happen sooner rather than later. And I know there's a lot of people out there that are very scared of the potential of what this thing could do. if we do it too soon. I'm more worried about if we don't do it right. That's what I'm really worried about. And yeah, I mean, you tell me. Write it down in the comment section below. Be respectful. Do you think it's time to start pushing for Disneyland and Disney World to be reopened here in the U.S.? Leave your comments, questions, anything down in the comment section below. And if you like the content of this channel, please like, share, and subscribe. We're trying to grow this channel, so I will catch you on the other side.